So marijuana and spirituality, I mean, everything spiritual. Everything out here is spiritual. It's just, at the end of the day, how efficient are you? You know what I mean? Are you doing your own thing? Right? Because everybody, the same way, your efficiency, for example, everybody goes to the supermarket to buy food, but I'm not saying not one, but not everybody is basically making an intent to at least grow one thing, let's say. Try to grow one thing and see how it makes you feel. Because at the end of the day, you know what's going to happen is you're going to be like, wow, man, this is awesome. Look, I'm telling you, I don't know what it is. Look, I'm from New York City. I'm not from the outskirts. I'm from the city. I was never into gardening. I liked plants, but I was never into gardening. But the moment I took that first seed, I got apple trees. I got avocados. I got eggplant, lemons, grapefruits. I got tomatoes, cucumbers, pumpkins. I got garlic. I got all different types of herbs growing now. With basil, mint, spearmint, the peppermint. What else I got growing? Blackberries, blueberries, strawberries. I got a couple, and then the rest are like willow trees, pencil trees. You know what I'm saying? Now, check this out. All started from a seed. But my first one was from a lemon. I took a lemon and I put I followed protocols, right? Where I took the paper bounty, wet it, put it there, put it in a paper towel, ziplocked it, waited till it germinated, then threw it in the soil. No, I just started taking these things now and I started just throwing them in the soil and boom, they just pop up. They look beautiful. Of course, not all of them, because I'll give you an example. See, when you start buying things from the supermarket to try to grow, see, they make these things sterile on purpose. So for example, I have black beans. I took 50 black beans, and out of all 50 black beans, only one black bean germinated and grew. So now here's what happened. Out of that one bean, right, maybe another 35, 40 beans grew. All of them germinated. What does that tell you? You know what I'm saying? Are you really eating live food from the supermarket? Okay? So when you grow your own food, you're eating life force. And not only that, but you grew it yourself. You created it. See, a lot of people talk about I'm a creator and this, but when you're here, you're destroying more than you're creating. You're destroying when you're a parasitic toward people, when you're a parasitic toward the systems or whatever or whatnot. But you kill animals, you eat animals, and here's the thing. Like I said, don't think I'm vegan. I'm not vegan. Okay. Use things to your advantage when you need them, how you need them, and in the way you feel like it's going to work for you. Okay? Know how to do things, transmute things. The whole concept of prayer was because you're meant to be the one to transmute these energies, not talk to God and have him, bless your food. No, that's you giving your power away. Okay? Transmute energies. Okay? So, when you eat animals, you're consenting to kill and stuff like that. So spiritually, what do you think happens? Okay? You get eaten off of also. So when the fact that you're eating these animals were, again, in the slaughterhouse, you're intaking that energy of rage, fear, anger, and all these negative emotions that animal may be feeling, when it's locked up and the way it was killed. And don't forget, the animal releases a certain hormone or a certain chemical whenever it was slaughtered, and this is what you eat. But if you want to trickle it back even further, you're also taking in the energy of the butcher or the person or the farmer that killed the animal. Okay? Now, when you get the animal in the wild, the animal is in its survival state, the overliving state, because survive means sobrevivir. Sobrevivir is overliving. The abundant, the animal was free roaming. Okay? Most of the time, as a hunter, you got to be quiet and you kill the animal. It's usually a one-kill shot. All right? So the animal, it was just like, boop, and that's it. It was a game between the hunter and the prey, or the predator, whatever it may be. All right? I'm an animal lover. All right? So I don't really, I think hunting is I'm not on agree with hunting, but that's another video. You know what I mean? I just think it's pretty fucking, go fuck the animal up and go beat the way a lion hunts the animal. You try to go do that and see what happens. All right, like Tarzan or whatnot. But that's another video. But you get what I'm saying? Like these things. But then again, do you even really need that? That's the whole thing. See, from eating 6 times a day to eating 1 time a day, you'll get to notice that your body really doesn't even need things like that. But then there may be moments in time and the amount of quantity that you eat it. For example, there be maybe moments that you do need a piece of meat, let's say, right? Climate changes and whatnot, temperature drops, you need something, cooked meal of some sort, right? But there's many different ways you could look at this. And that's why I said everything works. It's basically, these are just topics. If you start to be told how to eat and what to eat, those are all religious mindsets. So these are just things that you could just think about. You get what I'm saying? But you're meant to ingest the blood of that animal, okay? That's the life force. The meat. You ever tried to break a piece of meat raw? It's hard, right? It's really hard. Unless when you cook it, then it's easier to break the piece of meat, right? So imagine how that meat is being processed in your stomach, raw especially. You don't have those glands that these carnivores do in the stomach with these. The pH is literally at 1, where if you touch the acids of the carnivore, the stomach acids of these carnivores, you burn your fingers off. All right, that's how strong those acids are. See, we're at neutral. We're 7 pH. All right, so we're meant to eat more alkaline food and foods. If we're gonna eat cooked foods or whatnot, it's got to be in moderation. But and don't forget, we are supposed to be intaking omega-3s and all that. All these things that you think you're ingesting omega-3s, you're not ingesting no omega-3s, because when you cook any kind of food in oil, you convert these omega-3s into omega-6, which is actually very inflammatory. All right. There's not going to be a video on nutrition or anything like that, so I'll probably make that another topic. But continuing on with the with the plant and all that, the same analogy I use with the animals is the same analogy you use with the plant. You try to stress the plant out. You know what I mean? If you're going to stress the plant out, where's your mentality at? Are you farming this plant, for the intention of making more money or whatnot? Because if that's where your mentality is at, you got to think of this. What is the vibration you're putting or the energy you're putting on that plant? And this is why a lot of people who smoke marijuana, they talk about, the weed gives me the munchies. See, the person who's, processing or growing this plant has the intention of being money hungry. You get what I'm saying? So those are things to just think about. Like I said, just think about them. It's not something that I'm telling you, that's good. No, just something to think about. All right. Everything is energy. Because here's the thing. You'll also notice that when you wear certain clothing, okay, clothing holds certain energy and emotion, colors that you may be wearing. But that's why it's important to clean even your clothes out, but not clean them in the laundry. I'm talking about clean them with, like, you sage them out or something. You know what I mean? The same way you smudge your house. Why do you smudge your house? Right? To clear the energies out. Well, you clear the energies out, make sure you have the doors open, because if now all you're doing is chasing, these whatever energy you want out of your house, all you're doing is chasing it around your house. You gotta just open the door and let it out. You know what I mean? But you're not gonna do it with, with hate. You do it with love. Hey, you're not needed here. Keep it moving. My vibration's going this is where my vibration's at. But it's not. You do this when you feel like you need to do it. So your mentality shouldn't always be where, I got negative spirits on me. I got negative. No, it's nothing like that. All right. You got to go by a feel. That's why it's important to keep your body clean, so you know how food is affecting you or what foods you may be needing at that moment in time. And the same way with the energies. Okay. How are the energies feeling in your immediate environment? You know what I mean? And this is just when in the stillness, you could see this a lot more, but then you just start clearing your house based on your emotion. If you feel a certain way, clear the energies out and welcome in the energies that you want by you tuning in to a higher vibration, and then that's the frequency that you're emitting and you're gonna get back. Okay, everything's in the mind, man. But you gotta also do it from people talk, walking around, get out, no, just even with love, just do it with love. Just you're cleaning. That's it. I've had there's the point I've gotten to, man. Is I've had caterpillars in my garden sometimes, like certain caterpillars, and they be tearing up my leaves sometimes. But what I'll do is I'll take those caterpillars and I'll just walk away from my garden and throw them like in the woods or something. Just take them out and put them somewhere else. You know what I mean? I don't need them in my garden at that moment. And you know, sometimes like even certain seeds, like for example, when I was growing my sunflowers, you know, some people would put like a bag over the sunflower, you know, to prevent the birds from eating the seeds. But do you need all those seeds? No, just, you know, you take some of those seeds and then, you know, you give the rest to the birds. Let the birds eat them. And welcoming in those birds actually deters pests in your garden too, because those birds will eat certain caterpillars and certain like hornworms that may be trying to eat your tomato plants and stuff like that. See, all these little things of knowledge will prevent you from having to kill something. Because again, see, you don't need to get in nature's way. Nature will do its own thing. You get what I'm saying? So if you have your garden, yeah, the way you should be setting up your garden, you know, if you want to acquire certain knowledge of gardening, is knowing what to plant with what. Because certain things you plant with each other will deter certain pests, but it will also attract other things that may deter certain things that you don't want, like parasitic insects. Even though those parasitic insects serve their role also. Because the fact that they break your leaves down and sometimes they destroy certain parts of the stem or the trunk, that actually makes the trunk and the stem stronger. Believe it or not, that's like its natural pruning process where you don't even have to prune. They're naturally doing it for you. Except when you prune, you make it look nice and clean. Except when they do it, it's all chewed up and all nasty and everything. So that's why it's basically not aesthetically pleasing. Okay, but there's different ways you can do things. Okay, that's just on you, on how you want things to play out in your garden. The garden is basically up here too, is how you want things to play out in your garden. What do I need there? What do I don't need there? And again, you know, even when, like I said, criticism and stuff like that, you know, if you're in your ego, you may not realize that certain criticisms may be the biggest thing that can serve you in your life. It's not all about people talking nice to you and telling you, oh, you know, you're this and you're that. But then when you hear the person who's criticizing you, don't want to hear that person. The person criticizing you may be your best asset. They may be the one to get you forward because that's what you needed to hear to change your shit up. So again, that's why the appreciation thing is very valuable, very important. Now, I did not want to stress my marijuana plant, okay? Because my intention was, and a lot of people were asking me to buy you know, marijuana off of me and all that. I'm not selling weed. All right. Well, I mean, if you're my friend and you want to try a little bit of weed, I'll give it to you, and you'll see how it makes you feel. Because I put orgonite, I put quartz crystal. I talk to these plants. You know what I mean? And basically, depending on how they look, you know what they need. Do they need a little bit more food? Do they need a little bit more water? You get what I'm saying? Sometimes if the leaves wilt a little bit or get a little bit of a certain color, that color, a lot of people flip out. Oh, my plant's dying. No, it's not dying. It's just telling you that it needs something. You know what I mean? So you give it what it needs, and that's it. And you know, you want to stress the plant out to force it to produce more. All right? That's not I'm telling you, that didn't resonate with me. A lot of people were telling me that it didn't resonate with me. I want my plant, you know, no grow tents, no lights, nothing. Do you notice these plants are in a tent under grow lights? It looks like a plant prison. I'm telling you, it dead ass looks like a plant prison. Now I know that, you know, during certain seasons that may be, but don't forget, marijuana is a weed, just like weeds in your garden, right? And they produce seeds, so they produce themselves. They actually make a lot of seeds in a marijuana plant. So when that plant dies due because of its season, another one will come the next following season. Not in the wintertime, because marijuana plants don't survive the wintertime, right? But where are marijuana plants from? You know what I mean? They're not from, like, you know, right here where I'm at is all clay soil. I've had to condition this soil, so they're not going to naturally grow in this environment. So of course you put them in a suitable soil conditioned by me, but all made by all different types of food scraps. You know what I mean? That I made my and then, you know, when I mow the lawn, I take those grass clippings, because even people don't realize that's actually very beneficial for making your soil nutritious. Like, you put grass clippings, you put, you know, in the fall, all these brown leaves that fall, that's another beautiful thing. You put those in bags and throw that in your compost bin, you know, and you got more beneficial soil for next year, you know. But there's many different, again, because I go into nutrition, gardening and whatnot, but see, the main thing about this was to get an idea of what I'm talking about when it comes to the marijuana plant. You know what I mean? I'm treating my marijuana plant, with respect. I'm not going to force it to do things. I'm going to let it just do what it needs to do. The stresses that it's going to go through are going to be the stresses of maybe, when you tie the plant a certain way, when you trim them, all right, it kind of forces them to grow a little bit more lush, but that's something that may be happening naturally when it's in its wild state, when the bugs tend to eat them. So you want them to flourish. The human being needs some type of stress and suffering to evolve and ascend spiritually, right? So the plants need that too, but not the type of stress that you have when you got to go pay bills and shit like that. That type of stress will fucking kill you. The same way I'm trying to, let's say poke a hole in the stem or do certain things to force it to produce, more, some people put in certain things, chemicals. I forgot what the name of it is, to force the plant to produce more. You know what I mean? If that's what my intuition told me to do, I would have done it, but it didn't resonate with me. It didn't resonate with me. I just wanted it to just be. I pruned it. I did what it needed to do. You know what I mean? I got some fat, nice little buds there. I'm going to be using this plant myself. And yeah, I mean, and this is the thing. If you're smoking weed, you know what I mean? People want to know if you're going to ascend spiritually, or if you're going to have more spiritual connection if you smoke weed. Again, you got to remember this. You don't know. You got to know yourself, know your vibration, and know where you're at in your vibration, and know if the plant is vibrating higher than you or not. If the plant is vibrating higher than you, the plant will pick you up. If you're vibrating higher than the plant because the plant was processed, by somebody who was just not, giving love to the plant, rather just farming it to, sell it and make money the same way farmers do with animals, you know what I mean? Then yeah, the plant's probably not going to be in a high vibrational plant. So you may, if the plant may bring you down. And that's why most of the people are, they don't want to do nothing. They're all high. They're all lazy. High, aren't you supposed to, when you take deep breaths, like, when you get that head rush, that's a high. You know what I mean? You get energy. But how do you get high and then you're all lazy and then you want to just eat like a pig? Because that person who was farming that plant was doing it in a money-hungry way. You hear what I'm saying? So this is the thing. You got to look at all these things and go further back. Even the person who was growing that. What is the vibration of that person? You get what I'm saying? And what was his intentions? I'm sure he has nothing to do with, having the plant, to because a lot of people want to do it for healing, physical healing. Let's say anti-inflammatory, pain. It actually gets rid of pain because, there's many medicinal benefits to, cannabis and hemp. All right. Now, I got a male cannabis plant and I got real lucky because, see, here's the thing. It started with 4 seeds and only 3 of them made it. 1 of them didn't make it. So the 3 plants, they started growing and I started to notice that one looked kind of weirder than the other one. I'm thinking maybe this one's not like growing as strong as the other ones, but it's just that it was a different plant. It was a male and I have 2 females. So I got really lucky because that male pollinated these female plants. You know what I mean? Telling you, it's a beautiful experience, but I look at these plants and I feel good. You got to feel, how do you feel doing what you're doing? If you feel good, then you keep doing it. That's something that's helping you to vibrate higher. And by the way, gardening has given me a lot of information. I'm telling you, it's just certain things that I just have an inner knowing and I'm able to, just talk about it on camera. Sometimes I'll maybe, in a meditative state and then topics, come into my mind and I start to, it's like teaching myself and then I'm able to put it on camera, not for the intention of just, putting this knowledge out for everybody. It's basically just journals for myself. These are like my own personal diaries of anything. All right. I think that's all I wanted to cover. Yeah, I'll make videos on like, weight gain, certain stresses and stuff like that. I again, working in the nutrition field and whatnot, the passions that you put toward it, at your job, certain intentions and certain people that you may be connecting with, they come in there and you could tell, the state of being that they're in. You know what I'm saying? They're depressed because of the fact that, they're sick They said they've gone to doctors. Doctors give them a plethora of medication and stuff like that. And they're there because they want to do something differently. And then you're able to assist them by giving them certain advices and stuff like that. And then they come back and kind of like thank you for it. There's nothing like that. There's nothing that can compare to that feeling. I'll tell you that much. So I'll make videos on basically that, just putting out information on like, because doctors, if you look at doctors have a license to practice. They're licensed practitioners. They have a license to practice medicine on you, and that's it. So if you have a pain, they'll give you a medication. If that shit don't work, they'll just prescribe a stronger one. So I'm going to talk about that in the next videos. This will just be like a little introduction to let you know of what I'll be talking about later on. But you got to be the same way I just told you with these systems. You go to school, you learn how to earn a paycheck, right? So you got to come out and self-educate yourself. So in this instance, when it comes to health and when it comes to like, managing and dealing with certain diseases, you got to self-educate yourself. You can't put all your faith on a doctor, because a doctor is only doing what he went to school for, to make big pharma or the pharmaceutical industry more richer. All right. So this is why they say health is wealth. All right. Knowledge is power. Knowledge is power, because knowledge gives you the ability to stay healthy spiritually, mentally, and physically. And with that comes great energy. And with great energy, then comes strength. This is where you can really build yourself from here. Okay. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And if anybody has questions on like gardening or the marijuana or anything like that, and I didn't cover it here, because I pretty much went surface level on a few things, I can go deeper into that. Or if you want to see a video on a specific topic, I'll definitely do that, and we'll talk soon.